Hi everyone. I just wanted to go over a couple of quick things to get you started using some tools in Blackboard Collaborate. The first thing I wanted to point out is that if you are looking for where recordings of sessions are, you can go to this hamburger icon up at the top here. When you go to Blackboard Collaborate, it'll bring down a little drop down menu and recordings are listed there. You click it and it'll show the recordings that have been made. Okay, let's go into my Sandboxes course room. We'll be the only ones here. But anyways, I had set it to share the whiteboard. That was one thing that I was going to show, but let's just stop that for a second. Okay, over here, this hamburger icon up here, this is where you would record the session if you want to. If you are going to record sessions, and this is something you should talk to the course instructor about, whether you need to do that or should not do that, etc. But if you do record sessions, then you definitely need to let your students know because they need to have a choice about whether or not they are recorded. Students might have very good reasons for not wanting to be recorded, in which case you have to work around that and allow them to participate without being recorded. Okay, so coming back, this little purple tab we're all familiar with, it jumps out to give you the chat and the list of attendees. This is where there'd be a whole list of students here in your tutorials. This little box here tells you when they're speaking. You can see it moving when they do. This icon here, you can click on it, and when there's more people, I believe this is where the option would pop up to make somebody a presenter or a moderator so that a student can potentially share a document if that's needed. So just to point that out. This button down here, share content, is where you're going to find most of the things that you would want to use to facilitate participation. There's polling here, you can do multiple choice, you can do yes or no answers. You do have to write in the questions and the answers before you post it. As far as I know, there's no way to kind of prepare this so that you don't have to spend time doing that, so that's a bit of a pain. But at any rate, this is where you go to break people into groups, as I learned at the start of our session this morning. Okay, so ordinarily there'd be the list of attendees in this section, and you can choose how many groups you're going to break people into and whether there's a box you can click to shuffle attendees to make the groups random, or you can manually assign people to groups here. That would also take time. When people are in groups, so you choose your options there, they're not showing up now because there's nobody else in this session, but once you choose your options, you hit the start button to break people into groups, and then you as the moderator will still be able to see the different groups with the people inside them, and there'll be an icon up here that allows you to hop into the groups so you can switch in between them and see how things are going. Okay. The other thing that you can do is, I'll just briefly show the whiteboard. So the whiteboard is nice because I think anyone participating in the session would be able to add text into the box, which is a nice kind of collaborative tool. The thing that is limiting about it is that there isn't really an easy way to erase things. This eraser icon at the top, you click it and it erases absolutely everything. However, if you do write individual text boxes, then you can say, give the premise or whatever. If you do it like that, you can click this icon here is for the select tool, and you can select individual elements and delete them. And so you could say, write out a premise and then get feedback on how it's worded and then delete it and write it again according to student feedback. That would be a bit of a pain, and you can't kind of go inside the thing you've written and only delete a part of it. You have to delete the whole element, as far as I'm aware, at any rate. So the usefulness of that is a bit limited. To stop sharing something, there's a little stop button up in the corner you can click. To share an application, a Word document, a PDF, a PowerPoint, etc., there's different options for that. You can share your entire screen, which is going to share everything on your screen. And so you'll be able to click back and forth between different applications, and students will see whatever you see on your screen there. As I mentioned in the session, that means that if you are sharing your screen and you pop into Blackboard Collaborate to see, for instance, what people are saying in the chat box, it'll do this crazy mirroring thing because your screen is showing your screen, showing your screen, showing your screen. And if that ever happens to you, you can know that's what's happening, and if you want, you can switch to just sharing a certain application window, in which case you share your Word document. These are the materials I was drawing on in our training session. You can choose which one you want to share, but then you're just sharing that particular window. I'm going to share our tutorial leader handout again to show if you want something that is approximating to some degree a Blackboard, you could just share a blank Word document, and then you can write things in here and get comments from students, you can brainstorm ideas, etc. And you will just be writing in the Word document the things that you hear students saying, just like you would be writing on a Blackboard the things that they're saying to you. So that is something that you could try. Again, I'm going to stop this. Okay, I think that is all I wanted to cover from here. Is there anything in the settings? You can control audio settings, the speaker volume, notification settings for when you get notifications for when things happen. If someone puts up their hand, it'll pop out a little notification so that you can call on them verbally. Okay, thank you all for attending the session, and I'm sorry that I didn't manage to squeeze this in